The catalyst behind the call, the phone call between Modi and Biden, took place against a backdrop of escalating violence and uncertainty in Bangladesh. The targeting of Hindu minority, particularly in the wake of political upheaval in the country, prompted India's Prime Minister to seek Washington's intervention. This move, however, is unprecedented in modern Indian history. It is not just the timing but the very nature of the request that is startling. The question arises, when was the last time an Indian Prime Minister reached out to a foreign power to protect a religious minority in a neighboring country? The answer, unsettlingly, is never. A strategic shift or a domestic play? India's approach to regional dominance has long been grounded in three core principles: the inviolability of its territorial boundaries, total autonomy over its nuclear assets, and pre-eminence in the subcontinent. For over half a century, these principles have guided India's foreign policy, ensuring that it remained the dominant force in South Asia. However, by appealing to the US for assistance, India risks undermining this third pillar of its strategic doctrine. This move raises critical questions about India's current geopolitical strategy. Is this a sign that the Modi government believes the US now holds more influence in Bangladesh than India? Or was the appeal to Biden a strategic play aimed at appeasing a domestic audience? The latter seems plausible given the Modi administration's focus on its Hindu nationalist base. However, such a move could prove counterproductive as it risks ceding ground to the foreign power in a region where India has traditionally been the dominant player. The plight of Hindu in Bangladesh is not a new issue. The roots of this problem can be traced back to the Liaquat-Nehru Pact in 1950, an agreement that was meant to protect minorities in both India and Pakistan. However, the assassination of Liaquat Ali Khan in 1951 and subsequent political instability in Pakistan led to the gradual erosion of this pact provisions. Over the decades, wave of Hindu refugees have fled to India, particularly during period of political turmoil such as the genocide in 1971, the Barbi Masjid demolitions in 1992. The implication of this request extend beyond the immediate concern for Bangladesh's Hindu population. It calls into question India's long-standing policy of maintaining regional dominance and managing its neighborhood without external interference. By involving the US, India risks setting a precedent that could invite further foreign involvement in South Asian affairs, potentially diminishing its own influence in the region. Balancing domestic and strategic interest. In conclusion, Prime Minister Modi's appeal to President Biden raises significant questions about India's current foreign policy strategy. While the protection of Hindus in Bangladesh is a legitimate concern, The method of addressing it by seeking US intervention may have far-reaching consequences for India's regional standing. As India continues to navigate the complex geopolitical landscape of South Asia, it must carefully balance its domestic political needs with its long-term strategic interest. The challenges lies in ensuring that India remains the dominant force in its own backyard without ceding ground to external powers or undermining its own principles of sovereignty and pre-eminence.